My name is Stephanie Wu. My company name is Global Gas Management. I'm also was a WTW Media, the radio show host in the Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey, it's Kellen. And today on Diversified Game, I have Mrs. Stephanie Wu, and she's going to give us the game on some business development. That's what she does. She's also a radio personality. So for those of you who hear her and say, that sounds familiar, yeah, that's probably because she has her own show. And she's been married over 22 years to a gentleman who kind of favors a very famous radio personality, Mr. Joyner, but it's not him. So I don't want to make up rumors, but that's who her husband, looks like. But Stephanie, how are you doing today?
Fine.
Can you tell the people what your company is all about and how, if they are into government contracting, especially, how it could benefit them?
Yep. My company is Global Gas Management. What we do is we kind of like in the past, we have a fully covered, especially anything related to federal government. For the federal government, everybody would break it to part. Normally, when I do with a webinar with SCORE last year in the fall, in the winter time, I will mention about our part one with the certification. Because if anybody want to go into the government contracting, they should not be thinking about is what is certification. So certification is a part of our big business as well. And the next one will be the GSA Schedule. I don't work it directly with GSA Schedule, but that's another contract vehicle. I have another network called GSA Focus. They are our partners, so we are working together for the GSA Schedule. And for people who want to get the government contract together, they need to have a teamwork. So certification is the first step. Before you knock on the door, they will ask you, do you have certification? Certification can be broken down many things. I think Colin has one, it's called AA. Yes, if you have AA, you have a 9-year right. Now, because of COVID, you have a 10 years right. So a lot of people, I'm kind of jumped the gun is for people who does not have like a opportunity to teaming or MVP or JV. I need to take it out technical word, we can explain that later. But for those companies does not have opportunity to work with MVP JV or any other government contract with past performance, then I'm kind of have them to ride with me, and it's not start over, it's more like string what they can go after. So I'm more like business matchmaking. What we say is matching you in the right partner and teaming together to make the government contract work.
Now, matchmaking, very, very important when you get into government contracting, to find teams, especially if you don't start off with $100 million, which a lot of the construction companies, that been doing it forever, they sneeze at, oh, how much is that going to cost? They'll pay. What are some of the number one or number two issues and mistakes you see newer entrepreneurs coming into the space doing that you wish they would stop?
I think first thing you have to see is you're in construction, you really have to look into is the funding, because regardless, my husband always say, if you want to do the government work, you got to have funding, especially in construction. Either you have sub-bond or bid bond, because bid bond is where you carry out whatever the side project you can bid with. Either can be a hard bid. The hard bid and soft bid. Soft bid more like a negotiation contract. I think a lot of people are familiar with the government, they know the negotiation. But we need that if you have bond with a bid bond, you can go hard bid yourself. You don't really have to hold anybody's hand to do it yourself. You can do everything yourself. You have a bid bond. But you don't have a bid bond that you just working with another client, like larger firm, they are doing the sub team. Then make sure you have sub bond, because right now I'm working with a lot of client firm. They are looking for division from 2 to 50, if you have sub-bound, normally I just have a webinar with Wash Group and BL Harper. These are the two client firms that are working on the trade point right now. So if you have sub-bound, then you can be part of their team to work on government contract. Because with the government contract, it is always with client sub. And for any GSA schedule, you always, the larger firm, the prime firm always needs subcontracting plan. So everybody can pop and say, can I be your sub team? So somehow that is also the number one issue is the bonding for contraction firm. And for the service, they are not about the bonding, but contraction firm is heavy on the bonding. So you mentioned about the first mistake, I think is about how they can get in a bond, because the bond is really a big tie out for they to move forward with the government contraction fee.
And, you know, a lot of people get intimidated because they say, well, to get all these certifications, I have to fill out all this paperwork. I have to expose and let the government know how much money I have, how many TVs you have. I think I told you that story when they came into my house. They said, hold on, you have a TV. You did not put it. Your wedding ring, you did not put. I love that type of stuff because it really helps me as an entrepreneur to make sure I'm looking at the little things. Mm-hmm. But what has, you know, drawn you to exposing yourself to the government? Have you made, you know, the touchdown in business where you see the value, or were you just so hungry you did not want to be told no when you wanted to get some of this money? Like, what drives you? Because you have to be a certain type of person to go through the 8A process and all these certifications.
I think a lot of my clients, they are in AA, they always say, because someone told them there's a lot of money in the government, if you get on the certification, then you can get something. So I want to share the story about one of my clients. When they met us, they don't know what A is about because every year they have a review. They just go day by day, and until they meet us, they will say, you didn't take the money on the table. It's right there." And then they just realize, "Oh, I didn't know that." So later on, after they kind of realize what it is about, they get a first contract of $1 million from the NPS, the National Park Service. Because somehow you just have to meet that right time and right person. Because if they don't meet us, they don't know what it is about. And then maybe the next 3 years of review, they'll be gone. They don't even know what they are in AS for. So I think about, like you say, government is the certification is everything you need. Like last year, a lot of companies, because of COVID, they apply for SBA loan. So they go through that process. They understand is ideally for the government to help you to give you the fund is get to know what you are and where you are. So the same thing as a certification. If I don't know, if the government doesn't know who you are and where you are, without that identify information, how they gonna be able to know how they assist you. So I think a lot of people are understand is the small business for that certification is a very intimidating process. But we need that you go to DMV, right? You need to give them the birthday certificate, everything is on your ID. Is that secret? You have to tell the government. You're okay with the DMV, but you're not okay with the SBA. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, I don't understand what people's logic. You give the information to your bank. You're okay with the bank give you the information. They are not government entity, but they are the commercial bank. But you give them everything. But then SBS, can I give you bank information? Then you say no. What is the logic about that? That is some part I always, kind of like wake up to that. If certification is just enter the door, then you can jump to any who you want to go to. Then that will be somehow, it's just a stage. You cannot say, I don't want to give you anything and then you want to get it. That's not how it works, right?
Not at all. Not at all. Now, I have seen some entrepreneurs do so well inside the government and get those $1 million contracts you're talking about, but they did not have their back office right. Some of them didn't even have a CPA. Does your company help with that for when people do get that contract, do you handhold at all and help them make sure that their back office is right? Or do you want entrepreneurs to already have their stuff settled and structured?
I really think for the government contract, you have to really do is reading, a lot of reading, because it's a file regulation is all that jargon word. You have to understand what that means. So in able for you to understand that, you have to spend a lot of time to do your homework. That's our kids tell people, this is assignment. Then it's just like we go to school. So when I talk about government contract in my radio, I always say government contract just like schooling. You go to K to 12, right? You learn from the different stage. Then you okay with that education learning stage. What's the difference between the government? It's the same thing as the learning stage. Like you go to the GSA schedule, it's like taking a master's degree, maybe level 1 of college. But I think GSA schedule is more like you're taking your master's degree, you do your thesis, you do your PhD. But I just feel like we have so much to learn from. Is we have to go back to the GED now, just focusing what we've been reading and able to apply our knowledge. I think you mentioned about that. That is kind of like is on the team, because if you mentioned about he does not have a CPLS, but he can cover because someone in his team can cover. He would just carry on the entire team. So you only see like a portion. That's why I always tell people, government is a very big pie. You don't want to eat by yourself. You got to share. You got to be able to say, let's share. Then everybody get a piece of pie. Don't just say, I want a whole pie. It's gonna be yours too much for you to eat by yourself.
Yes. And we had talked about, in that sharing, I have never primed anything, but I've been a sub. I've even been a sub of a sub. Mm-hmm. And, I enjoy that work when it's easy, simple. We're allowed to do what we, specialize in. But the GSA schedule is very, some people I could see 8A, I could say everybody, if you just put the time in, you can do it. GSA schedule, it doesn't just open you up for new things, but you also, the government wants a discount and your CPA is going to want to raise, or you're going to have to get a whole nother CPA because not every CPA will do this type of accounting. Do you help the companies find those other team members as well, if they're willing to go through that? I know you and I had talked and I said, I'm sometimes giving a discount that I can't give any more of a discount, right. $5,000. I mean, I can't give any more of a discount and I don't want to give it to the government because they'll pay me as a sub a lot more than that if I find out who primes that contract. But can you help people find those people that can help them with that if they're willing to go down that ride?
For the discount, that is standard because that is how GSA schedule contract vehicle work. Government want to create such a program so they can nail down certain pool. So they don't need to go to acquisition process. Like over 250 right now need a technical proposal, need an acquisition process. So it's not like a simplified anymore. So when in that GSA schedule discount, that is like a break it down another pool, like you say, GSA schedule not for everyone. So it's not like a process. I was thinking the GSA schedule more like an investment. It's just like you okay with the Bitcoin. A lot of people are crazy about Bitcoin right now. They say Bitcoin was some kind of investment, new tools and all that. You allow that kind of new concept for your investment, but you not allow yourself to do the investment on GSA schedule. Everything in GSA schedule is more like an investment. It's like if you are in finance, GSA schedule is more like how you can accumulate it. Because right now, GSA schedule also creates a CPA. It's called contracting agreement. So you have a GSA schedule, another GSA schedule, so you can go after the two become one, and it's going after the e-buy. Because GSA schedule, once you get qualified with GSA schedule with the number you got from, and then you go into the competition with people in the GSA schedule. So it's a bit limited for the pool. That's why for you to find some other people to team with, I really suggest people who does not have a GSA schedule right now to go to look for the client already on the GSA schedule and ask them, would I be able to be with the team to learn what GSA schedule is about? Then once you go through that process, then you realize that's something you're interested in, then you can establish if you want to do that investment. I mentioned that to you earlier, is you do not want to give the GSA schedule for discount for that, go to by yourself, then go to another client to see how they work. And then if that is somehow is the way you want to be, then you can have your own GSA schedule. But I just feel like GSA schedule is just another investment. It's just like another Bitcoin.
Yeah, I would.
Like that.
I would definitely agree with you. Talking about investments, and I see the beautiful hat you have on. It is, I don't know what the weather is like in Charlotte, but I think this is like your staple. I could see you selling these. You wear it so well, and I've seen your other pictures.
Yeah.
Is this your fashion? Your new business that you're gonna come out with, berets?
No, I just feel like I'm always a hat person. It's just like sometimes it's much more easier just to put on like that.
No, I agree. When my hair is not put together, it's very easy just to throw something on and keep it moving. But I like it kind of wild and free. That's just me. But that's that. Now, a lot of your work, you're putting people together, you're connecting. I'd love to know, what is a community give back that you are doing or that you would like to do in the future?
Yeah, community give back right now, I'm focusing on the veterans. Working with the veteran organization around, the first one I have talked to is NAVA. They are like a Native American. Even though they are Native American veteran group, but they also assist other veterans as well. They don't just narrow down, like a lot of veteran group, you can see the VA organization. I see like 100-page, all the VA organization, but they all have specific, like they only associate with the blind, the color. they kind of like very specifically say, this is the veteran group I want to focus, not anything else. So my focusing is, I have a connecting with one of our North Carolina, we have called NC Independent Living for Rehabilitation Program. Because my godpa just passed away 3 weeks ago, and then because he's also a veteran, and I've been trying to find the VA benefit for him, and he's not qualified for. But I'm also trying to find any home remodeling for the assisted living facility like that. And then I feel like if we can keep our veterans home in their home environment, can we keep them longer? I'm talking about the aging. Can them aging better and living with the family, but a lot of veterans has very limited because they stop. Because even the both of them are elder age, they want to try to help take care of each other, but they've been strained for the ADA, the raining. They have to do the rain, or they have to do the ADA bathroom. Those kinds of necessity we need to figure it out is how can we find a program like that? And in our North Carolina, we have that program throughout the DHHS, that is from our State Department. And then if you are a qualified applicant, you can apply. Because one of my friends, who is also, her husband also a veteran and blind veteran, so he was able to get a cover, and it doesn't cost them anything, just for once they get approved from the state, then state come over, have engineer design the ADA bathroom for them. So I am just trying to expanding that program to veterans, see if every state has that program. And I find out most of the programs are connecting with the nonprofit. So I'm trying to go to different kinds, like you mentioned, the community back. I want to focus on the veteran group because a lot of veterans have so many issues right now. So we want to be able to really enlarge. With my job, I'm able to utilize in that program, but hopefully other people out there, I'll be able to reach out in time.
You seem to be very flexible, but you know exactly what you're looking for and how you want to get it. I'm just curious, personal question. Violin or viola? Which one do you prefer?
Violin.
Oh man. Okay. She can get your business right and serenade you on the violin, you guys. I love this talk and I want people to connect with you. Can you let the people know where they can find you and follow up if they are serious?
Yeah. The first thing you need to do is go to my website. And my website, my son graduated from UNCC, he's computer science major. So he designed my website. So, and plus that has also hidden with my husband's 20 years experience as well. So if you know how to find my information, that is very enriched. That's only one tool you need to do. You just go read my website. My website is OBOE, OBOE, galaxy.wordpress.com is our website, OBOE galaxy.wordpress.com. And if you go to our website and then you have a question about that, you want to talk to me, you can call me at 919-793-3078. 919-793-3078. But you don't have to talk to me, it's fine. You can just email me. My email address is very, very long. So, but it's very easy to remember. Just OBOE Galaxy Management LLC at gmail.com.
And links will be in the description, you guys. You guys have been blessed with the game. If you do nothing else, make sure you share it with someone. It will change their life.
I just want to give a little bit different from the government perspective. I've been single matchmaking since 1995. So I'm still want to go back to that route because I'm really thinking, I've matched for people about 5 couples so far. One is my real sister, the other 2 is my kind of like school brother, I know. So I really enjoy to matching people together. So I really think if your site can be carry on the message for the dating pool, I'm willing to help too.
Get your business right and find your mate. That's where Stephanie and I we meshed on so many things. And it's a beautiful thing. Think that you could be, get in a whole new tax bracket and find your mate through the same person. You guys have been blessed. Miss Stephanie, I thank you for coming on.
Hi everyone. Have you ever been curious about visiting Africa? Which African country were you interested in? Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Ethiopia? Which country are you interested in? My good friend, Kellen Cash Coleman, came up with a course called My First Trip to Africa that'll guide you through this process. It's only $20, and in this course you'll learn about passports, visas, vaccinations that you need before you go there, as well as a budget, how much the trip is going to cost. He also talks about what you should pack, what you should take with you, how you should travel on a budget. Did you know that $100 is worth 1,000 South African rand and over 10,000 Kenyan shillings? So imagine what you can do with $100 back home. I say back home because I'm from Sudan, I'm African, I already know how it's like. I know that, when you convert Canadian and American money, it goes a long way when you're traveling across Africa. So if you're curious, if Africa is a place that you've always wanted to go, always wanted to move there, Kellen Cash is the person to ask. Check out the course. There's a little preview you can listen to before you actually purchase it. If you're interested in this course, visit www.diversifiedgame.com. Don't miss out.